Hello everyone, what's up and welcome back to my channel. It's been a long time. I had to take a break. I just couldn't deal with the stress of work and trying to spew out videos as well. But I'm back. I actually miss doing YouTube a lot, so I decided to come back. And my first video would be, obviously, as you can see from the title, my March TBR. I will be doing like a catch-up session, I think next week, just to tell you what exactly I plan on doing for the year, like reviewing my 2025 goals and all of that. I know it's late, but as they always say, better late than never. So, but without any further ado, let's just jump right into the video. So I think this is going to be a quick one, mainly because, you know, I'm a bit out of practice. So let's just talk about the books that I plan to read this month. I noticed that there's realmathon and I really wanted to partake in realmathon last year, but I noticed it too late. So I knew in March this year I should be partaking in realmathon, and I decided to join Stingers as my family. I have like a new obsession with jellyfish. Mainly because of Canva, because Canva has these nice designs and I was like, ooh, I like that. Anyway, for those of you who don't know what realmathon is, it's basically a readathon where there are 4 families and you kind of fight for territory in realmathon. The readathon is hosted by Covers with Cassidy. I believe that is their handle, and they've created this very nice map and lore behind everything. Yeah, they kind of manage like the docs and things. I'm not going to go deep into the lore because I only kind of listened. I just heard stingers and water and I was like, yeah. Because a little tidbit of information about me is I love anything to do with mermaids or pirates. So I think that was like the closest thing I could get, and I was like, okay, I'm going to do that. So that is my house. Yes, that is a long-winded way to explain that I joined the Stingers. So my TBR is basically set mostly on mood reading and books that I really definitely need to read because the arcs are due this month. The first book I plan to read is The Ashes and the Stalker's King by Carissa Broadbent. This is the second book in the Nightborn Duet series. The first book is The Serpent and the Wings of Night, and it's about vampires and war. I'm sure everyone has heard about these books. These books are like reprinted. I actually like the original covers more, but you know, you get what you get. And basically this is just about Aurea, who's been a human her entire life, and her father, or her adoptive father actually, he's a full-blown vampire. A vampire. I haven't done this in a while, don't judge me. He's a full-blown vampire. He's also heir to the vampire, so he's very powerful, but obviously when you are powerful you have powerful enemies as well. So Aurea has always been kept in the dark because, you know, she's human. He tries to protect her in all ways possible, and then to solidify her power and become like attached to her adoptive father, she partakes in the Kajari, which is kind of like a trial where all the most powerful vampires partake in, and whoever wins gets a wish from the goddess of the vampires. And in The Serpent and the Wings of Night, she also meets Rain, who is a vampire from the opposite clan. They fall in love. You can just imagine enemies to lovers, that kind of thing. So yeah, it intrigued me at first because vampires. I love me some vampires. Besides mermaids and pirates, I'm a vampire stan. Anyway, so yeah. I think that's all you need to know. This is book 2 because book 1 ended on a severe cliffhanger, and yeah, it's a brick as well. Like, obviously you can see I'm busy with it because it's deep in March. But yeah, the next 3 books I want to read is The Infernal Devices by Cassandra Clare, which follows Clockwork Angel, Clockwork Prince, and Clockwork Princess. I was just about to say, do I have them in the right order? It follows the Multi-Instrument series, but this is set in the 1800s. It's got steampunk, it's got vampires. So, you know, and it's about this girl who discovers that she has magic in a world where she believed magic doesn't really exist. Why am I holding it like this? I don't know. There you go. She gets wrapped into the world of shadow hunters, and she's trying to save her brother who has been warped into this world as well. And she's also trying to figure out who her family is in all this mess. All 3 of these are buddy reads with my bestie. We are quite excited to delve into these as well. Then the next book that I plan to read was kind of hammered down my throat by my work bestie. She read all 3 of the books and then she was like, listen, I'm not saying that these are heart-wrenching stories, I'm just saying you need to read them. And I was like, okay. So, you know, get a recommendation from the work bestie and I read them, which is Flock or the Raven Hood series by Kate Stewart. I only put book 1 on my TBR to see, you know, get the feel of Kate Stewart, but I might dive deeper into the rest of the books because I got Flock, the 3rd book, and then one of the novellas for very cheap on Audible, and I was like, if I can buy 3 books for the price of 1, I'm going to be reading them. Do I know what the series is about? No, but the way it was sold to me by saying it's a heart-wrenching story, put me down. That's all, put me down. I'm also sure a lot of people know what these books are about. Then I'm also partaking in the Buzzword Readathon challenge, both the cover challenge and the word challenge. The word challenge is to find a book with the word thing in the title, and I'm reading something like Sunflowers by LCB, unsure how to pronounce. I should probably ask her. She's on my Instagram. This is just a steamy love story. I think it's a second chance romance, and it's yeehaw second chance romance. So, and I've never read a cowboy romance before. I'm not ashamed. I've never read them. Anyway, am I diving into the deep end with something like Sunflowers? Maybe, but you know, why not? The next book is for the Buzzword cover challenge, which is to read a book with a book on the cover, I think, or in the title. I could be wrong, but yeah, guys, I was searching high and low for these books and I was like, I cannot find anything. And then somehow I found a book that is The Right Place. I forgot who wrote it, but the main character, or the female main character, she's got a book in her hand. The female main character is a teacher and the male main character is a writer. So he goes to her class. His book is set in a school setting, so he wants to get like all the information, get like all the inspiration, because he's kind of in a block, and I think these two cook up a romance. Then I have 5 arcs that I need to get through. 4 of them are high priority, and the 5th one is kind of important, but it's only due on the 3rd of April, but I put it in now because for some apparent reason I like to stockpile my arcs, and I also leave them till the last minute, which is, don't ask me why I do that, but then I make myself stress, and then my husband's constantly like, why do you do this to yourself? The first one is Queen of Shadows and Ruin by Nisha J. Tully. This is the 4th book in the Nightfire Portrait series, and it's basically about a girl named Zoria who was kept in a sea cottage, and there was also like barriers around her, magical barriers, where she couldn't go to town until one day the person who has been looking after her just disappears, and the barriers around the sea cottage also disappears. And so she goes on an adventure. The only meme I'm thinking about now is this one. I'm going on an adventure! She goes on an adventure to discover who she is, and turns out she's got very powerful magic, and she is destined to save the people, the slaves, basically, in this world. The second book is Tideborn by Eliza Chan. I did a video on Fathom Folk last year, and I really enjoyed this book. So I was like nipping when this arc came out. I was like, please can I just get this book, because I really want to read it. And luckily I got the arc, and it's a high intricate fantasy that's centered around this world where humans and other different species of the ocean live together, but the humans do not want the humans of the ocean do not want the creatures of what? Hello? The humans do not want the creatures of the ocean. Let me try that one more time. The humans do not want the creatures of the ocean to kind of rule alongside them. And then we get one of our main characters who is part human, part siren. And then she becomes the highest person in the city guard. But she continues to face like opposition from the humans, obviously, especially those in positions underneath her and who are also humans. So obviously you can see where that goes. We also follow a sea witch who is evil and is trying to sway the sea people as well as the humans into her kind of nest. Like she's that double person where she will support the winning side no matter what. So if the winning side is the sea creatures, she will go to them. If the winning side is the humans, obviously she's going to be drawn more to them. And then we get the 3rd character, who is Noria. I think she is a princess, and she has been sent to the city because she did something wrong. She stole her mother's pearl or something. It's like an egg pearl. The pearl represents something. I can't remember what it was, but yeah. It's a highly political story. It's highly situated around people from different sides trying to come together and fight for a war, and now there's even more war brewing because there's a bigger enemy on the loose. It is also a very nice way of showing that there is no black and white when it comes to war and politics. There's always a gray area. I think I like that so much about this book. Then the next book is Greatest Sins. This book is based in a small Scottish country where people in this town discover a human body in a bog, and then the people of the town unearth this body, which has been very perfectly well reserved, and the question rises of what actually have they uncovered in this book. I think it's going to be an eerie, creepy story, something I should not be reading at night, but will I possibly read it at night? Maybe. The next book is A Recipe for Murder by Verity Bright. If you've been on my channel for a while, you would know I read all of Verity Bright's stories. These are cozy mysteries about this woman, Lady Eleanor Swift, who tries to solve mysteries with the help of her butler, her ginger cat, Tompkins, as well as her very gluttonous French bulldog. These books always just evoke some cozy feel into it, although there's murders taking place, you know. It's not high stakes. It's always just this calm kind of book. If you want to read it, you're not overly anxious about things that are about to happen. It's just things always work out best for the characters. They always find the murderer. It's kind of like Midsummer Murders. Yeah, basically. That's how I can sum it up for you. And then the last book is Gifted and Talented by Olivia Blake. I'm Olivia Blake stan, and whatever she brings out, I read. This sounds like it is a magical realist story about people who are fighting for inheritance after one of their parents passes away. This is just from the first sentence I read. I don't want to spoil too much because I don't like reading descriptions, but as I've said, anything that Olivia Blake puts out, I will read, and I'm not ashamed of it. Those are all the books that I plan to read in March. If you have read any of these books, please let me know down below. If you have made it this far into the video, comment down the book emoji. And I'll see you guys on a video on Monday. Bye!